Alright guys, welcome back to Strong Successful Male. So for today in the Ask SSM video series, got an email from a subscriber. This is a guy, he is 32 years old. He's been with his girlfriend now for 4 years. She's 8 years younger than him. And according to him, he has a fantastic relationship. She's a great gal, comes from a very traditional conservative family. In the family, mom and dad love each other very much. The mother treats the husband like the king, and he's earned it. Very close, all that, very traditional. But recently, and the reason he's writing me, is his girlfriend, who's very smart, done well for herself, has the opportunity to get a better job where she's making more money than he is. And he's concerned, given his life experience and the stories he's heard both here on this channel as well as in real life, that there's going to be a shift in his relationship now. She's going to be making more money. He's concerned that all of a sudden the many unfortunate things you hear in the stories I've covered is going to happen. Like all of a sudden she has a major attitude change, starts wanting to try to run the relationship, starts seeing herself as better than him, looking for somebody else that she feels entitled to, that type of thing. So he's writing in to ask my opinion about this. And this is a little longer because he's going to explain her background here. So I'm going to read his email here, and then I'm going to explain, give my opinion on the particular subject. Says here, hello SSM. Thank you for all that you do. I discovered your content about 3 years ago and listened to every episode that you post. Brother, thank you for your support. I really appreciate it. I find your stories the most entertaining because I find myself saying the same things that you say at the exact same time that you say them. I became RP'd around 8 years ago after being cheated on for 3 times. 3 times, man. And people wonder why so many young guys are done with relationships or don't want to get into them at all. 3 times. I'd like to think that I'm up to speed with female and male nature right now, but it's good to hear stories and be reminded once in a while to avoid slipping into a weak mindset and potentially ruining any current and future relationships. Anyway, I live in the States. I've been with my current girl for almost 4 years now, and things have been going great. I've heard that one before. I'm 32 years old and she is 24. Well, good for you, bro. You got yourself a young chick. It's great because I can literally look back at all my exes that cheated on me, and they are all genuinely overweight, past their prime, or both. Not an exaggeration. Well, don't forget, bro, your girlfriend now, things can change. In 10 years, she could be the size of the Goodyear blimp if she's not careful. Half the population in this country is overweight or obese, more than half. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but just be aware of that. My girlfriend was brought up in a very traditional household where the mother cooks dinner nearly every night and the family sits together at the dinner table. Wow, that is rare nowadays. My family sat together for dinner almost every single night growing up, always. But I grew up in a traditional conservative household. The father supports the family financially with his own electrician business, and they go to church nearly every Sunday. They live modestly and are far from rich. They have a very average house in the suburbs, but they are content and they place family above the rat race, above chasing money. Both she and I share these values, and I am very aware how rare it is to find somebody like that nowadays. In our relationship, I've been the leader and she's happy to follow. Good. Good job. You've learned over the years what works. And since she was raised in a traditional household, mom's feminine, follows the lead of her dad, and the dad acts in a way that the mother can trust his judgment, that's natural to her. This is what she observed. And as long as you are the leader and give her reason that she can trust your judgment, all that, then you're fine. We treat each other with respect and we have each other's back. Yet we are both aware of a man and a woman's duty in a relationship. I can hear the feminists going crazy at what you just said right there, pulling their blue and green hair out at that prospect. I asked her where she learned all this, and she said it was from her mother. Her mother has specifically told and instilled in her that as a woman, it is her duty to make her man feel important and appreciated, while it is important for her man to provide and protect her. There you go. So, following that backstory, my question is this. In addition to being conservative and traditional, my girl is also very smart. She recently graduated from the local state college in our town with a 4.0 GPA with a master's degree in medical field where there's a shortage of workers. Well, good job for her for working hard graduating with a 4.0. That's awesome. She received multiple job offers before graduating, and after her 6-month probationary period, she'll be making over 6 figures a year. Shit, 24 years old, that's badass. Congratulations to your girl. As for me, at my current job, I earn around $80,000 a year, working long days with mandatory overtime at around 50 to 55 hours a week. Okay, you're a busy guy, but good for you being on your grind. Just make sure that you have room to see your girl, to date your girl, take her out, all that, because she's earned it. As long as she's earned it, you keep treating her well. My concern is that I'm aware of how relationship dynamics shift when the woman begins earning more money than the man. Is there any way to prevent this relationship dynamic shift from happening? She's never shown me any signs that this will happen to us personally. She's never made any comments or jokes or slights in my direction about her eventually earning more money than me. Good, she shouldn't. I have no reason to believe that she will see or treat the relationship any differently than how she does right now, other than me knowing about female nature. Because of this, I'm looking to preemptively seek advice about how to tackle a situation, yet every time I do, I come up stumped. Do you have any advice for this situation? Thank you again for all that you do, and keep up the great work. So, I even made a list, which is rare for me because I usually freestyle. So, ordinarily, I would say, holy shit, dude, watch out. But since the way you describe your girl and her family and have obviously had a tremendous influence on her, the way she sees the world, her approach to relationships, I still say watch out, but on a different way. So because she grew up in that traditional family and mom and dad love each other very much, mom treats dad like the king, follows his lead and all that, and that's the way she's with you, that you have the potential that this can still work even though she's making more money than you. Okay? That being said, you need to keep a close eye on her if there are any changes in her personality, attitude, or values. I've done stories, and I did one, I think, on the They Did What channel about a month ago, less than a month ago, about a guy and a gal that had a similar relationship like yours. And she was very frugal with her money, never needed expensive things, and got this very, very high-paying job promotion. And overnight, she went from being very frugal and not very materialistic at all, to all of a sudden buying all his name brand clothes, purses, handbags, shoes, expensive cars, like that. The guy was shocked. And her attitude towards him changed and all that. So I'm not saying it's going to happen to your girl, but what I am saying is that type of thing can happen. So keep a very close eye on her and her behavior and all that. Another thing is, keep being the same guy that you've always been. If you've always been the leader and behaved in a way that she could trust your judgment and therefore let you lead, and therefore keeping her in her feminine state and you as in your masculine state, keep being that guy. Some guys would get intimidated by their girl making more money, and guys that don't even know this type of content. And by him becoming intimidated, he stops being the man that she once knew and start losing respect for him, and he goes to hell in a handbasket. You can't stop being the same guy you've always been. End of fucking story. Now, if there's an opportunity for you to rise or get a better career, maybe one day getting a career that get to maybe make more money and work a little less, that'd be wonderful. So I wouldn't stop where you are. But that's just me. I'm always going to be looking for improvement. I said if she starts any BS that's out of character for her after the big raise, you need to check her. Okay? And you'll know what to look for. You've been with her 4 years. You'll notice real, honest-to-God change in behavior and attitude. You have to check her. I say it all the time. Biggest difference between nice guys and bad boys, two biggest ones is that nice guys always put the girl first instead of them, and they never check them. Bad boys always check their girl, no matter what. You have to be, and I'm sure you have already, but then again, from your description of her, she's probably hasn't really given you many reasons to check her. Be prepared to check her. Another thing I would say, is that given how unfortunate this world works, don't fall so hard for her that you can't walk away if she starts to develop an attitude and act high and mighty because she gets the big promotion and pay. Really. That's the problem with a lot of guys. They fall so hard and they think there's no one else in this world, and they can't leave the girl. And when a woman knows that a guy's not going anywhere, that's when bullshit happens. Think I'm wrong? watch all my videos. You'll see a pattern there. And you said you've watched them all, so you know what I'm talking about here. Can't fall so hard. You have to come first. Always. Because nobody's going to take care of you more than you. And at the end of the day, I'll say this. Even though she's been great with you, and the great family, and the great role models, if she does in fact change, you'll walk. You move on. Because I don't want the same shit to happen in this relationship like it did to you with your other previous relationships where you said the 3 different girlfriends all cheated on you. Now, I don't know what the dynamics were in those relationships. I don't know how you behaved in them. Maybe you behaved in a way that turned them off, combined with them just being selfish assholes. But regardless, you've now been watching my content for 3 years, and you said you've been RP'd for 8 years watching other content and life experience taught you things. You now know what to do, and I'm sure you're going to be able to check her, watch out for bullshit, and walk if it goes too far. Because that's the biggest problem with nice guys. Nice guys will never walk, ever. They're too afraid to. Too afraid of conflict, too afraid to be alone. So, based on what you told about her and her family, give her the chance. She's earned it. But just watch out. And, you know, it is unfortunate, but so many times these gals, women, generally speaking, always want a guy that they feel is a prize. Frankly, the same way a guy would certainly want a gal that's a prize in the looks and body type department. Let's be honest here. So if all of a sudden she's making, a lot of times these stories, they're making more than their guy all of a sudden, then they feel entitled to a guy that makes more than them, or a higher status that matches up with them, education-wise, job title-wise, income-wise. And that's what usually, and it's interesting because the narrative is that, hey, a gal can make more than a guy and it should be fine. Well, reality shows, through the countless stories I've done, that isn't always the case. So we shall see. I really hope, honestly, this is the last time I ever hear from you, that this works out and you have a great relationship with her and she doesn't change. I don't want to hear 6 months to a year down the road, you say, hey, SSM, and you send me an email, and you tell me that she'll end up doing exactly what happens to all those stories. I really hope that doesn't happen here. But it is going to boil down to her, and it's going to boil down to you and how you behave and what you keep an eye on and all that. But it's like the old Ronald Reagan saying about trust but verify. Give her the chance because she's been a good girl and all that, but you got to verify. Keep your eyes open, and I really hope it works out. But like I say in all these things, since you're obviously a relationship guy, you're RP'd, but you're a relationship guy, whatever category that wants to fall under. But no rush in anything. And if you know, since she's from a traditional conservative family, I'm sure once she gets her job and gets settled in, people are going to be talking wedding bells. And if you don't want to get married, don't get married. But be aware that's probably going to happen. But in any instance, just keep doing what you're doing, see how things go at your own timeline, your own pace. And if you do go down that path, if actually she doesn't change and everything's going all right and she doesn't want to get married to you, all that, so be it. Use everything you've learned in your 8 years since you became RP, things you've learned on this channel, all about prenups and taking your time and all these other things you do to protect yourself, separate your finances, all that, and I hope things will work out for you in your favor. We shall see. Again, I hope I don't hear from you, because if I do hear from you, that probably means that things went to hell in a handbasket. So that's what I think, and I hope that you'll be all right. All right, guys, that's it for today. Be sure to comment down below. Let me know what you think about this. Let this guy know what you think, because I guarantee there's going to be other guys that may be in a situation. I really do hope it works out. And also, you guys have a question you want to ask me about some particular subject, definitely email me, strongsuccessfulmale@gmail.com. Just put Ask SSM in the title, so I'll know specifically what the email is about. And if it's a good one, I'll definitely cover it. And be sure to like the video, share it with your friends, and subscribe. I'll catch you next time.